a little, consideration of a resolution requested by the Republican Party of Walworth County not to accept private funds. You all got a copy of that letter. I think this is just kind of a feel-good thing here. If the town is gonna accept any funds, wouldn't the board have to approve accepting the funds before you deposit something?
Well, and Mark Zuckerberg isn't gonna give us $8 million.
No.
Election year.
Have we ever got
Have
any
we,
funds?
that was my question,
Never.
have we ever gotten it?
No.
So it doesn't hurt to put it in writing, right, that we won't accept it.
I guess that's why they sent it. The county did a resolution, and it's attached, and it said what they did. To me, it's, okay, it would just put it in writing as a board of saying, yeah, we're not gonna do that, we're not gonna take it.
Jim, do you have a copy of this? Just replicate.
No.
Well, it's the it's the Democratic state, party would want Walworth County or the town of East Troy to do something, would we give it that ease of a pass? As far as I'm concerned, we are nonpartisan. So to be proposing what the Republican Party of Walworth County wants us to propose, it's outside our realm. This is inappropriate. I make a motion to table this.
Or just make a motion to deny never doing it.
I'd go that far.
Yeah, like I said, this looks
But I
like
guess,
a
is
feel-good thing.
Is it dependent on who proposed it or what the content is? The content is saying that we will not accept donations from any person or non-governmental entity for the purpose of election administration, including but not limited to collection of
So
ballots
it's
or
a
voter
political
registration.
issue. The Republicans are making a political issue of contributions to cities to help them in their elections. We never take any money.
I think the difference is if Walworth County was asking us to pass a resolution similar to one that they did, we might view it differently,
Yeah, this is not the
whether
cover,
it came directly
this come
from
from
a political party or not.
Right.
So I look for a second to my
Second.
motion to table this.
Alright, you made a motion to
Table it.
table it. Okay, just table it, you know what I'm saying, indefinitely. or-
Place it on file. Table it, place it
Table.
on file.
Alright, I'll second that motion. And then we'll-
Barbara,
Whatever, second that.
Nobody
Okay.
ever seconded it.
Alright, under discussion, I think that's a good point. The county did it, okay, but the county's not writing a letter to the town saying, we're asking you to do this, they can't tell us to do it. And they could ask, but I think you're right, I think that would be inappropriate, because if indeed town government is nonpartisan, why are we even reading it? I mean, we read it because we sent it to us.
Would we normally review the county ordinances to see if we are in line with those county ordinances?
Well, this is pretty simple thing on here, it says will not accept, no grant shall be accepted from any person or non-governmental entity for the purpose of elections administration. Pretty simple. Okay, including but not limited to collection of ballots or voter registrations. I don't, that's,
Pretty
unless we,
simple, right.
it is, if you want, we could have Jim review this and report next month or not, but.
I don't think I need to review that.
Okay, well, we had a motion and we had a second is to table this thing. And any more discussion? Okay, on the motion to table, all in favor say aye. Aye, opposed,
Nay.
one. Michelle, okay, roll call vote, Krakowski, aye.
Church, I.
Booker, aye.
Wales name.
Ray's name.
Alright. Right. Craddock Recreation Committee, who's the, Alright, go ahead, Barb.
Municipal Court Clerk Jennelson, and I had a conversation about some things that we thought would, call attention to some of the assets in the town
as well as increase the, quality of life by engaging diverse range of people in variety of activities. Some of the activities we listed, I'm sorry for the audience that we didn't print this, bike rodeos, getting to know your fish, music in the park, get to know your boat, open mic, let us entertain you, Dr. Zoo, stay in the park, what are you thinking about sailing? There were a number of, we've got about 20 items that we listed that we thought we'd like to start creating programming for, greater involvement. Perhaps a flower bed in the triangle out here by the town, or a community garden. Those are some of the things that we were thinking of trying to engage the public in, getting to know the assets of the town better, as well as, creating relationships with the Lakeville Management Club and other organizations, not just them, but like other community organizations, so that, the town can co-promote some of the things that they do on our website, as well as getting people involved in doing things in the community. This for me is a full circle. In 1979, I started in municipal government as a programming in a recreation department. I spent 10 years doing it in Illinois. I came to Wisconsin. I spent 8 years working for the city of Waukesha, including winning the state Silver Star Award for the most creative programming for a difficult age group. So I would like the opportunity, and Jen was the one who approached me about it. I have a background in it. I'd love to do this.
Discussion,
When's Jen gonna be able to do her municipal court? It sounds like she's living in, she's committing.
that's why you've been living here 30 hours, or what is it? 32? She wants to work 44.
I mean, I wouldn't see anything wrong with what you're proposing here, I think.
Is there
More we
some
can do,
overlap with, with the Troy area and the recreation
Well,
programs?
The team with the village's, summer, park and rec, summer
Right.
recreation program. Matter of fact, a couple of years ago, we got the fee structure changed around, so everybody knew who residents and non-residents were. The bike rodeo might be one of them they do.
Well,
don't know what
I
the other
did
one is.
talk
Swimming
with,
lessons.
we're not looking to do swimming lessons. The bike rodeo
Well,
is
it
something.
says it on here.
Well, we would promote swimming lessons that are already done in the village. We weren't looking to
Department.
do our own. The bike rodeo, we are looking to do. I talked with, Officer Hackett, thank you. And they have not done one in the village in over 2 years. And he thought it was a great idea, and he said, even if they were thinking of, now he's thinking of doing it, and now he's thinking, well, we could combine forces and do it together, or do it in 2 different places and promote it that way.
So this would be scattered around, could be anywhere in the town.
Anywhere in the town, anywhere in the town. So,
Regulations too.
Yeah.
The website and stuff.
No.
Yes.
Not only am I concerned about Jen getting stretched thin, but Barb, this has employee written all over it, in my mind. This is, very traditional activities and park and rec committees that I have worked with in my career. And, these take time, these take budget, these take time, takes buy-in from communities. I wouldn't rush into this, but as an introduction to
Yeah.
something that might benefit the town, I think we need a little more structure to this, because even a bike rodeo, in the small city of Franklin, that was, 7 months of planning, easily $500 of planning.
well,
And
Can't the
there's a
park
budget.
committee take
Well,
over
that's-
some of this stuff?
well,
Park and Rec is usually right.
They're not always together. The city of Milwaukee has a parks department, they have a recreation department. The city of Greendale has a parks department, they have a recreation department. So, you know, not everybody does park and rec together. Jen and I were just looking at trying to get some positive vibes out there in the community by doing something that we were looking for low to no cost things to do, snowman building, you know, out here where the trolley's gonna go by, or, painting rocks to hide around the town. You know, we were looking at doing some simple things to send out good messages around the town and, you know, bring more traffic to the website, send more positive community comments around the area.
If this committee gets approved, that means the town code has to be updated to include this committee.
Yeah, and I guess I thought when I talked to Jen, we talked about starting by adding things to the website that maybe like already exist between the village and the town, or some of there's no reason we couldn't, put on our calendar some of the chamber events or things like that, as part to generate hits on the website as well. So I didn't understand it to be a separate program.
There could be some overlap, there also could be some things that you see on here that you already thought about doing. Most of this stuff would probably not, it probably wouldn't be here. Some of it could be, but to get out to different parts of town would be pretty good. And as far as the code, you're just talking about having, there's not a committee listed in there.
Right.
Right. It's not
And
like-
a representative and the committee members.
Okay.
Put it on the agenda along with other committee reports.
I think it's worth a try. I would be hesitant to say, putting a timeline saying, well, next 2-3 years we'll do all of these. I think it's, you start with a few, one, and see what kind of response you get, really, and how much public attraction you can gather with that. You don't know on some of these unless you do it. And I do believe that, you know, if it gets publicized enough, it will probably be worth it, but I agree with the positive news part, you know? So, that's, I guess, the way it's noticed here is, to create a recreation committee. This is the first time we all looked at it, well, a couple days ago. We kinda got input here and saying that, be aware that there could be some time, but you
What
know
about
enough to know.
Ad hoc committee like we did with communications, just test, if you're talking about testing it out.
You could do it on a trial basis, or either way, you'd have to create a committee, but an ad hoc committee, I believe, don't change the code for that, that's a.
Those are standing town committees.
Yeah, it's a standing committee, so, I don't know, that's kind of why we have it on here, to discuss it. To me, changing the code is no big deal, we're gonna have to amend our town board appointments, because, Bob Zelinski, retired from the planning commission. So, I believe the planning commission has to officially act and to get to us next month who they want for the new permanent. And that was Bob's 3rd-year term, so would the new person start with a 1st-year term, or just the first year? So it'd be a 3-year appointment. I believe it was announced that Ben Smith was it, but I don't know if we need to vote on that or not. We should give a recommendation to the town. So if we change that, and we'd have to change our resolution anyway for the plan commission, adding one is no big deal. As far as fleshing it out, I don't know, there's 2 trains of thought. One, you just go ahead and do it. You do a couple, you do one, to see, you know, how it works, I'd say probably 2. Or the other option is to have an ad hoc committee, which we just assigned right now, but you have to find one of the council members.
Well, John and I, and you're saying one more?
Do something,
Yeah, probably,
John.
no,
Jen.
Jen.
Oh,
John.
Jan, I think so, John. Well, I had a question with, some of these things I've seen and read a lot of resumes. There's a few of these things that reminds me of that, I didn't know, I know you've been doing a lot with, with the boat and, ice cream, is anything like that type of ideas of?
I think the bike rodeo is a good idea with, I assign an officer, and I'm sure one will step forward to work with Aaron from the village and create something that's a town village bike rodeo, even like a safety town, with our kids, and that'd be easy, just on the PD side, those two meet, that when we need it, committee,
And I'm just asking because I've seen a lot of this stuff in a lot of
Yeah.
things that we've read, many resumes and things that have been programs. And by no means am I trying to put anything else on the police department, because I know.
Not right now.
Timing
Yeah.
is
They're
everything,
busy, but I
right?
mean, it's just another thought, to make a whole committee, if there's a parks committee, and maybe if as we move forward with our department, there's one on there, maybe if things like this can be divided up, and, I don't know.
Well, I see the question here then is whether or not, it sounds like we think it's a good idea, the only question is whether it's a standing committee or an ad hoc committee, okay? If you do an ad hoc, you'd probably be discussing exactly what you have here, okay? Plus another person, say it's an outside, a town resident, there may be a couple other things that they thought of that you did, but I think the only way to really see if it's gonna work is just do it. You can go ahead and study this thing, and if you gain anything there, unless you do a couple. So that would be my recommendation, just create a recreation committee and see how it goes, like I said on these other, the end committee, we did that last go around, we got rid of the airport representative, because there was really nothing happening there. Get rid of another one too? Cable, that was one that nothing happened forever.
The pier, when we did the piers down at the lake shore.
For the committee, that was an ad hoc for the East Shore Drive, right away encroachments, whatever. Yeah, that wasn't ad hoc, just like the original one is ad hoc for communications, so,
How many members are on planning, parks, sorry, parks?
Parks and Rec.
That's what she was saying, kind of, when you're looking at a small city of Franklin, it's a lot bigger than the town of East Troy, or you talk about Milwaukee, where Parks and Recs, and, they do have some separation, I can understand that with that kind of volume of people. And if we have a committee and everyone would be willing to help and make something, that committee into something more, I think that makes more sense than going through making known, because what if Jen and Barb would be more than happy to be, if you could all put it together with the park, if she's the only one and not much happens there anyway. A lot of this stuff looks like it could be happening at the park, on top of it, but I'm just thinking instead of creating something new, we have something that says, not to say it's not being used, but maybe we just kind of gave on that.
Yeah, cause
You
it
know, and
wasn't
then
a lot
that's-
when I took over the Parks
What?
Committee, even for the
But
expectations.
if you guys wanna make another committee to put on the list for meeting nights, feel free.
I would say, I have a degree in sport management, and I was a recreation director in a municipality that was an actual city, but about the same size as this. It does take time, it does take money, but there's lots of things to get you started that you can do at low cost and stuff like that, if you can get some volunteers. So,
all right, well, you need a motion here, I don't think you can make it, because you proposed it. The request was to create a committee, we just have to decide which type we want. Is it a hybrid, is it an ad hoc, or is it a standing committee? That's where we're at. And it's a good point, Jen, I mean, there's, some obvious overlap, okay?
Sure.
But then again, a lot of what's in there is, won't be there.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be at the park to be for the park committee to be doing that or be involved with if it's another location in the village, or let's say it's over by the, boat launcher, I mean, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter whether it's, I mean, I guess I'm thinking.
I would assume it'd be a public area, access.
Right.
Well, you heard the pros and cons here, would you like to discuss it tomorrow with Jen and come back next month?
Sure.
Think about,
I don't wanna deter it, I think it's
No.
a great thing and a great idea.
think about who
Appreciate
would be a
all
good
that.
public member, an additional one, cause you're on the board, Jen's an employee, another person out there. Who knows?
But couldn't she be on it as, if she's not doing it as part of her job duties, couldn't she be that community member? You know, I mean,
Technically,
You can volunteer your time anytime, anyway.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean,
so I mean,
we do.
alright, let's do it that way, think about it some more.
do you need a motion to?
Good input, by the way, cause there's a lot of different ways you can go, but I think there'll be a need.
I think it's a great idea, it's just a matter of.
Yep, we will go about it. Okay, attorney's report.
First is I need authorization to draft a confidentiality agreement for the website / email administrator. This is carryover from last time.
Yeah, and I think until we talk more about getting an IT person, we should hold off.
That's fine with me.
But I think it's a separate thing.
I do think it's separate thing. We're talking about Bill Reuter
Or if we
and
go.
what he does currently, right?
Mhm.
No,
Well,
this
About
is
signing
different.
off.
This is
um,
totally different, this is someone being administrator of the email stuff.
Right.
Which this
So
one
currently, John, myself, two more people, the person from,
Just you and I are actually.
yeah,
has,
are the email people, and then Jen's kind of the website person. But we continue to.
This
So you
discussion
said-
came up last month when we thought,
right,
maybe
we were
Bill
going a
had to
different
get-
direction.
oh, okay, so we might not need this right now. Okay,
Because with the current web, email program, administration, whatever, they're like a middle person between us and Office 365.
Another thing that the
You
guy on
can't.
Friday said,
Yeah,
that he would take us away from Rackspace completely, and we'd deal with Microsoft 365.
yeah,
And that would be a lot easier to
Yes.
manage.
yeah.
Jeez.
So,
This last-
So that would be a good reason to have it tonight, since Microsoft Office is available, because you need a license.
Well, that's
So,
for Office 365. You can access that anywhere.
so you may have two separate confidentiality agreements. Or different,
Possibly, but this is, we
right,
need to
it's
do
too
more.
premature at this point, it
Yeah,
sounds
we
like.
need to do more.
We don't need to go.
Right.
alright. Moving on.
Next, a long reading. Ordinance 2022-3, an ordinance creating chapter 10.46 of the Town of East Troy Municipal Code. It reads, the town board of the Town of East Troy, Walworth County, Wisconsin, does hereby ordain as follows. One, that chapter 10.46 of the Town of East Troy Municipal Code is hereby created to read as follows. Chapter 10.46, all terrain vehicle routes and regulations. 10.46.010, authority. The town board of the Town of East Troy, Walworth County, Wisconsin, has specific authority to adopt this all-terrain vehicle ordinance under Wisconsin statute sections 23.33, sub 8, sub B, and sub 11. 10.46.020, purpose. The purpose of this chapter is to establish all-terrain vehicle routes in the town of East Troy and to regulate the operation of all-terrain vehicles in the town. 10.46.030, definitions. This chapter adopts chapter 23.33, Wisconsin Stats, and NR 6.04, the Wisconsin Administrative Code, describing and defining all-terrain vehicles and the definition of all-terrain vehicle found therein by reference as part of this ordinance.
03 or 04? Sorry.
64.
64.03. You guys all have copies?
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
yep.
10.46.040, severability. Should any portion of this ordinance be declared unconstitutional or invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remainder of this ordinance shall not be affected. 10.46.050, applicability of rules of the road to all-terrain vehicles. These all-terrain vehicle regulations are created pursuant to town authority by section 23.33, sub 8, sub B of the Wisconsin statutes. This ordinance is intended to facilitate the implementation of sections 23.33, sub 8 and 23.33, sub 11 of the Wisconsin statutes. To the extent necessary to accomplish this, section 23.33 WISSTATS is hereby adopted by reference as part of this ordinance. Additionally, this ordinance incorporates and adopts the provisions of Wisconsin Administrative Code NR 64. In the event that any provision of this ordinance is inconsistent or conflicts with that statute, the statute shall govern, not this ordinance. Additionally, provisions of Town Code Section 10.05.010, sub 3, A and B shall apply to all train vehicle operation within the town. 10.46.060, operation of all terrain vehicles. Pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 23.33, sub 4, sub D 4, except as otherwise provided in Wisconsin statute section 23.33, sub 4, no person may operate an all-terrain vehicle upon any public right-of-way, in any public park, in cemeteries, or on any other public property in the town, except upon all-terrain vehicle routes designated by the town board in this ordinance. Should be all ATV, or no, it's right, all all-terrain vehicle routes shall be marked with uniform all-terrain vehicle route signs in accordance with Wisconsin statute section 23.33, sub 8, sub E, and Wisconsin Administrative Code NR 64.12, sub 7. 10.46.065, regulations relating to all-terrain vehicle signs. No person may do any of the following in regard to signs marking town all-terrain vehicle routes: intentionally remove, damage the face, move or obstruct any uniform all-terrain vehicle route or trail sign or standard, or intentionally interfere with the effective operation of any uniform all-terrain vehicle route or trail sign or standards if the sign or standard is legally placed by the state, any municipality, or any authorized individual. Next paragraph, no person may possess any uniform all-terrain vehicle route or trail sign or standard of the type established by the Department of Natural Resources for the warning, instruction, or information of the public, unless he or she obtains the uniform all-terrain vehicle route or trail sign or standard in a lawful manner. Possession of a uniform all-terrain vehicle route or trail sign or standard creates a rebuttable presumption of illegal possession. 10.46.070, designation of all-terrain routes. All town of East Troy roads shall be all-terrain vehicle routes. 10.46.075, route maintenance. The designation of town roads as an all-terrain vehicle route does not impose upon the town a greater duty of care or responsibility for maintenance of those roads. Operators of all-terrain vehicles on town roads assume all the usual and normal risks of riding that vehicle. The town accepts no liability for the operation of all-terrain vehicles on any town roads under this ordinance section. 10.46.080, additional conditions of operation. Operation of an all-terrain vehicle on a posted all-terrain vehicle route shall, in addition to all these statutory regulations found in Wisconsin statute section 23.33, adhere to the following provisions. 10.46.0805. The speed limit for all-terrain vehicles shall be established at the same speed limit as the speed limit posted for automobiles on each town road. All other all-terrain vehicle speeds shall conform to the speed limitations found in 23.33 sub 3. 10.46.0810. All-terrain vehicles shall be operated on paved surfaces only unless yielding the right-of-way. 10.46.0815. All all-terrain vehicle operators shall ride single file. 10.46.0820. No all-terrain vehicle may be operated on any designated town all-terrain vehicle route without fully functioning headlights, taillights, and brake lights. 10.46.0825. No all-terrain vehicle can be operated on any designated town all-terrain vehicle route between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. daily, unless a different restriction on the hours of operation has been specified by the town board and notice of the same has been duly posted on the designated town all-terrain route. 10.46.0830. All all-terrain operators shall ride on the right-hand side of the paved portion of the town all-terrain vehicle route unless making a left turn. Operation on the gravel shoulders, grassy inslope, ditches, or other town road right-of-way is prohibited unless yielding the right-of-way. 10.46.0835. No all-terrain vehicle may be operated in any careless way so as to endanger the person or property of another. 10.46.0840. No person under the age of 16 may operate an all-terrain vehicle on a designated town all-terrain vehicle route unless accompanied by his or her parent or guardian or by a person who is at least 18 years of age who is designated by the parent or guardian. 10.46.0845. No person under the age of 18 may operate an all-terrain vehicle on any designated town all-terrain vehicle route unless wearing protective headgear. 10.46.0850. No all-terrain operator under the age of 12 may operate on a town designated all-terrain vehicle route under any circumstance. Showing you one. 10.46.0855. No person who is under current driver's license suspension, revocation, or cancellation for any reason may operate an all-terrain, should be an all-terrain vehicle upon any town roads. 10.46.0860. All all-terrain vehicle operators shall yield the right-of-way to all other vehicular traffic and pedestrians. 10.46.0865. No all-terrain vehicle operator shall have a passenger riding in or on any part of an all-terrain vehicle that is not designated or intended to be used by passengers. 10.46.0870. All-terrain vehicles cannot be operated on anything else other than tires. This restriction does not apply to private property or frozen waters. 10.46.0875. An all-terrain vehicle operating on a town road may not be modified so that its maximum width exceeds the width allowed for an all-terrain vehicle. That's as defined in the definition section of the other statute. 10.46.0880. No person shall, while operating an all-terrain vehicle, engage in the practice of cruising on any town-designated all-terrain vehicle route. Cruising is defined as running all or part of the length of a roadway multiple times per day back and forth for any purpose other than departing or arriving at the residence or place of lodging, or departing or arriving at a public boat landing. 10.46.085, license and insurance. Unless otherwise stated elsewhere in this ordinance, every person who operates an all-terrain vehicle on a town-designated all-terrain vehicle route shall have in his or her immediate possession a valid motor vehicle operator's license and shall display the license document upon demand from any law enforcement officer or official described in Wisconsin statute section 23.33 sub 12. Every person who operates an all-terrain vehicle on a town-designated all-terrain vehicle route, and every all-terrain vehicle operated on a town-designated all-terrain vehicle route shall carry liability and or other insurances consistent with Wisconsin state law, should be capital S, for the operation of an all-terrain vehicle. 10.46.090, enforcement. This ordinance shall be enforced by any law enforcement official as set forth in statute section 23.33 sub 12, with stats, including the issuance of a citation under section 66.0113 Wisconsin statutes. 10.46.095, penalties. All penalties found in Wisconsin statute section 23.33 sub 13 sub A are adopted by reference. 10.46.100, filing. This ordinance and revisions thereof shall be sent by the town clerk to the Department of Natural Resources, the town police department, the Walworth County Sheriff's Department, and any other law enforcement agency servicing the town of East Troy's jurisdiction. This ordinance is effective on the 13th day of June 2022. The town clerk shall promptly post or publish this ordinance as required under section 60.80 of the Wisconsin statutes. I need a motion to waive a second.
I'll make a motion to waive the second reading.
I'll second.
The motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Good job reading, Jim.
Alright. We're gonna need a motion and then we're gonna need some discussion. We got to this point based on, a petition that got circulated, 99 residents of the town asked for it. We had a vote at the annual meeting, 42 to 32 to continue reviewing this, but I do think we need a lot of discussion yet. So we need a motion before we can start the discussion. Like a motion to approve or not approve?
Gotta have a motion and a second to get it on the table, people.
Alright, I'll make a motion, that we not go forward with this